make sure we get confirmation that we're live.
I'm on the Facebook page, refreshing right now. We are live. And you just got Kerry bobbing his head right now.
Cool.
Like we're live. So talk us up.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the BKBK Podcast,
Woo!
where sports and the culture collide and the New York Jets reign supreme.
That's right.
I'm your host, Brandon Phillips, joined by my fellow co-hosts, Kerry Taylor, Brian Taylor, and Captain Kyle McKenna. We're bringing
Straight
this
out of
podcast.
Seattle.
That's right, straight out of Seattle. Yep, on a remote shoot.
That's right.
We're bringing this podcast to you live from our studio in Westchester and live also from what part of the state of Washington are you in?
Mercer Island.
Mercer Island.
98040. The
Wow.
Rock.
The Rock. I love it. So, guys and girls, here we go. We've seen, 3 weeks of football now of our beloved New York Jets as well as the NFL. Is Sam Darnold our guy? Do we have reasons to be
Yes.
excited about him? And what does
Sorry,
this all mean?
sorry.
No, no apologies. We're all excited here, and I love it.
You're welcome.
Yes. Look at him.
Props to Kerry.
You're going to be taking credit for that for the next 15 years.
Yeah,
not?
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would hope it'll be for the next 15 years, son.
Yeah. So let's explain why Kerry just said, and I'm not even going to call it rude because it is truth, why he said you're welcome. Kerry, go ahead. Tell the world why you just said you're welcome, borderline obnoxiously.
Because I
Borderline.
predicted this. And in our draft predictions, he was my number one pick. So you're welcome. Very
Yeah,
much.
All right, then.
Well, just to further explain it, yes, Kerry's 100% right. I know Brian and I were definitely for Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
And he's doing his thing over there in Cleveland.
Yep.
But we
He
loved
is.
his moxie. We
He
loved
is.
his accuracy. And we just loved everything about him. Me personally, I'll let Brian speak for himself, though, but me personally, I looked at Sam Darnold, not at the fact that he wasn't a good quarterback, but I just didn't trust the USC program. They haven't produced anything good since
Yeah, it's tough.
Carson Palmer. I mean, and we've already been stung by the Mark Sanchez B, Mr. Butt Fumble.
Absolutely.
That guy Barkley out of USC, I never liked him. He's, I think he's floating around the league somewhere, but he's not good.
Right.
Matt Leinart was a bust.
Yep.
And so it just created a sense of doubt with this whole USC quarterback thing, and I didn't trust it. But, man, oh, man, do I love this kid Darnold right now.
I mean, for me, it was the decision-making in college and some of the decisions that he made and some of the plays, the turnovers, obviously, I think 22 turnovers last year. So when you look at that, that's the reason why I was a little sour on Sam Darnold, but that's
Sour.
all over now.
Right. It's all over now. And I want to say that the prediction, I'm not as excited about the prediction as I am excited about the prospect of having him. I wanted him on the team. And that was over the other quarterbacks that were in this draft. And when they moved up to 3, I was hopeful. So that was more of a hope than a prediction. So I'm glad that he's on the roster. I'm glad that he's developing.
Sure.
I'm glad that he's doing well, and I hope he doesn't start. But that's another conversation. We'll talk about that later.
Well, let's talk about it. This is where we talk about things like that. I can't just drop that and run away.
I wanted to give Kyle an opportunity to talk about it too.
I think that I'm going to give all credit due to your predictive skills, but I think that we could all agree that none of us expected Donald to fall to us.
No.
So,
That's correct.
we were kind of making our predictions based on the default that he wouldn't get to us, but I'm very happy that he did. I watched some Josh Rosen. I don't know if you guys caught any Josh Rosen
I have not.
No.
Not this week's game.
How's he looking?
He does not look as ready to go to me as Baker Mayfield and
Sam Darnold.
and Sam Darnold look. I think that they should definitely start Baker Mayfield in Cleveland for sure, because I don't think Hugh Jackson has more than a year if that thing doesn't go right.
Well, that's why they have Tyrod out there. So to me, he's concerned about his job. He needs wins. That's why Tyrod is out there, because he doesn't want to go with the rookie quarterback.
I agree with Brian.
And he's had a couple of instances where he's going with the rookie, and obviously they laid an egg. So I think that's exactly why Tyrod is out there. I agree with you. I think Baker should start. My personal opinion. He's shown to this point that he is ready, and he's the future, so why not throw him out there? But his job security, that's exactly why Tyrod is starting.
And, of course, his job security is on the line. They went 0-16, so it's like I happen to really like Hugh Jackson. I like his offensive mind. I've always liked the offense that they ran in Cincinnati, as well as when he was coordinator back with the Raiders. I don't know if you guys remember him there. I've always liked his offensive philosophy. But the thing is, if I were the coach and I was with the, say, Cleveland Browns, I would start Tyrod Taylor, too, from a coach's perspective of wanting to be able to keep my job. It's also not a bad decision. And here's the thing. You have a savior, in air quotes, right, in air quotes, in the waiting if Tyrod Taylor falters. And also Tyrod Taylor, honestly, he's not that exciting, but he's one of the best game managers out there.
Wait a minute. Does that mean you're agreeing with Kerry?
Right, exactly.
Because that is the exact position that the Jets are in.
I'm going
Todd
to take.
Bowles is on the hot seat. He
Yes.
hasn't had wins. Now, he hasn't gone on 0-16, but, I mean, at this point in his career as a head coach, I don't agree with it, but it sounds like you want a veteran starting right now.
And it's a better case. And it's a better case that Darnold sit.
Why?
Because of the offense that, in comparison to the offense that Cleveland has, in terms of the weapons, the offensive weapons, and the offensive line, in comparison to what our offensive line and our offensive weapons are concerned, I think it's a better case for Darnold to sit than it is for.
Well, since you guys asked me the question, let me respond, if you may.
No.
No.
Yes, no, I'm going to do it. So I said that if I were the coach of the Cleveland Browns,
Okay.
I would do that.
Right.
If I were coach of the New York Jets, I don't think that it's the same situation. One, we were not 0-16. We were, 5-11? 5-11.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Two, we have Teddy Bridgewater. And through the first three preseason games, this guy has built up his worth. I want to trade this guy. And three, which actually should be one, Sam Darnold has run with the first team the most out of any of our three quarterbacks, and he has done nothing to take his position away from him from saying, like, you should be our starter. As a matter of fact, he's flourished, in my opinion. And if the line were better, he'd be flourishing even more.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the reason you don't start him.
Well, you know what? Our line, we haven't had Beachum. Okay, he should be coming back by game one.
Winters.
And Winters just came back Friday for this third preseason game. And I was just talking to you, Brian, off camera before, actually yesterday, when you called me up, that the line was performing better when Winters came in, especially the interior.
You see that drive, the first drive of the
It was
game?
amazing.
11 plays. I mean, end to end, it was beautiful.
I loved it.
It was
I loved
beautiful.
it.
I mean, but at the end of the day,
Send that drive to Coach McKenna out there in the West Coast and
That's
put
right.
it in your clinic that you're going to run there, Kyle.
make sure you
I
install
watched
it.
I watched that drive in my highlights. Even Brent Quale looked good.
Just
in
for that one
drive.
drive because he stunk the rest of the way.
You love him, huh?
I can't stand that kid.
You love Quale.
I mean, I love Talib Kweli, but I don't like Quale.
Yeah, I don't like that guy on my left side.
I like Kwame too.
I don't like that guy on my left side protecting my 16-year investment.
What were your thoughts, McKenna? Go ahead.
I got some conspiracy theories here, because I like to come with the conspiracy theory stuff. I think it's very interesting going back to my original prediction that Josh McCown would ride off into the sunset as the QB coach,
Right.
on this team. He hasn't had any game reps at all.
None.
in 2
Hasn't
weeks.
had a snap.
Right.
All right. So now they're saying next week that the starters aren't going to play.
Right.
Right.
Right. So that would mean that we will know by default if Sam Darnold doesn't play in that game that they intend for him to be the starter, whether they announce it or not.
Right.
I think it's self-evident as of now.
I think so too. I think that the bigger question is who will be the two quarterbacks that are active when we start the season. And I'm going to throw this out there, thinking about how little reps McCown has gotten.
May I interrupt you here, Kyle, just for 1 second?
Yeah.
do the Jets have a history, kind of like the Baltimore Ravens, of only activating 2 quarterbacks? I thought we always activated 3, but I'm not sure.
2 is the norm.
Yeah.
2 is the
The
norm.
rule with the third quarterback is that once you play the third quarterback, the second quarterback can no longer come in the game. So you can only actually have 2 active quarterbacks at a time.
Right.
You can have three. You got 3. You can have a third quarterback on the roster that doesn't take off your 53, I believe, but you cannot play. It has to be like the Tom Tupa situation that we had maybe like 20 years ago, where Tom Tupa comes in because 2 people get hurt in front of him. He's an emergency quarterback. And instead of playing the third quarterback, they play Tom Tupa, who was the punter at the time.
Yeah, I remember that.
He throws 2 touchdowns, and then one of the other quarterbacks comes back in the game. So they avoided that. But getting back to what I was saying, though, I think that –
May I interject just for 1 second? My bad, Kyle. I just worked – my bad. I just worked with Keyshawn Johnson last week, and he is talking about like basically –
start, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And he was saying Teddy should start, but he was just saying that overall he wishes that he had a QB in his career kind of like Darnold or Teddy Bridgewater, because he was saying – the best QBs that he's ever played with were Vinny Testaverde and Brad Johnson. He was like, everybody else, like somebody with my skill set, if I had like he was really talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he loves the way that he flicks his wrist, and he just looks at him as just a pure quarterback. He was like, if I had Aaron Rodgers or anybody like that, forget it, my career would have been insane. And then he mentions Tom Tupa. That's why I wanted to hop in there. He was like, guys, listen, I had people like Tom Tupa throwing to me. Are you kidding me? You're going to tell me? And I was like, you know what? I see where he's going with it. But my bad, Kyle. Go ahead, brother. I just had to tell that story.
Well, Tom Tupa had a career as a quarterback before he was a punter. That's like a very interesting NFL career. But I think that McCown, based on these reps, I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets do not move Teddy Bridgewater preseason because they don't like what is being offered.
Sure.
Like we've talked in the group text about a minimum second rounder because Brissett was being offered for a second rounder.
Yep, absolutely.
And Teddy Bridgewater is head and shoulders above Brissett. Brissett is a borderline starting ability, in my opinion. I mean, he has started games, but I don't think he's the dude that you want to go with.
Right.
So it's more a circumstance. But I think that I wouldn't be surprised if the Jets keep Teddy and Sam, and that third quarterback is Josh McCown playing that role of coach. And the thing is, he's a very good emergency plan. And, you know, between his salary and Teddy's, they kind of equal one quarterback because Teddy's not going to make a lot of money unless he gets the incentives that come with the playing time. So you're in a uniquely good situation as far as your ability to start this guy right now and have backup options in case something doesn't go right.
Copy that. No, I totally hear what you're saying. And no, I agree for the most part, definitely.
Yeah, I would say this. I mean, we don't have a quarterback coach currently. We have a backup quarterback coach. So McCown ends up sliding into that role. I think
he's already playing it. He's definitely already playing it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That quarterback room is awesome. And I would say this: you have Darnold. First of all, the best QB, like I said at least a couple weeks ago, should start. And there's nothing that we've seen. And Teddy's good, right? But he's playing against second, third, fourth stringers, people trying to make a roster, versus Sam Darnold going out there against the first, ones versus ones, and he ran up and down the field responsible for two touchdown drives. Yeah. This week. So when you're looking at that, when you look at his reps in training camp, listen, that was 21 touchdowns, something like that. And when you look at Teddy, he was like 10, and he had similar reps overall. It was like 300 reps apiece and this and that. And McCown was less, but he gives us the best opportunity to win today, I believe, and I think into the future. Why not throw him out today? I also think that it gives Bowles an opportunity another year to not necessarily make the playoffs because you got a rookie quarterback, he's going to make mistakes. And I don't want to change the hierarchy right now or in 2019. Because that's the mistake we've made with Sanchez and some of these other quarterbacks where we go in, we fire the head coach the next year, new offensive coordinator and all of that. If we're going to fire Bowles, then we need to keep Bates on as the offensive coordinator so we have some continuity there and we give him the best opportunity to succeed in 2019 and beyond. Those are my thoughts. He's been the best quarterback. Why not throw him out there? I'm not worried about the O-line. The dude is 21 years old. He's going to get banged around. It kind of is what it is. All NFL quarterbacks do. So why not just throw him out there? Give him a year to learn, get his feet wet and all that kind of stuff. So 2019, when we have $100 million to spend, we know we have a quarterback. He's got the experience, and now we give him the weapons.
I'm cutting to Kerry's face because
I'm
the
not,
look he was giving to his brother.
That's fine.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
I mean,
by the way, I agree with you, B, all the way.
Yeah.
So this sets me apart from what I was saying as far as if I were the Cleveland coach versus the Jets coach, and you articulated that perfectly. Go ahead, Kerry.
I mean, we have a history of making poor decisions when it comes to the quarterback position as a Jets franchise. And my thing is that I want to protect my 16 to 20-year asset as best as I can. And I'm doing that. And I'm doing that. Right.
41, huh?
Right. Hey.
41, rolling them out there. Okay.
Brady.
Wow.
I'm just saying, cut to Brady. Where's the asset?
I love it.
But my point is that we don't have. I want to put him in a position where he has the best opportunity to succeed. And I don't trust this offensive line. I like the running back core that we have. I am not sold on the receivers. So I want to put a veteran asset, a veteran quarterback in there that can do the job and that can hold the position for somebody that I know that once we are in a position to improve offensive line, improve receiver, improve the offense on an whole overall, and he can also learn the position from another quarterback / coach on the sideline, that being McCown, it gives him a better footing when he is able to take the position over, and there is nobody else sitting behind him looking over his shoulder. Not to mention the fact that, I want to see Bridgewater. I campaigned for this guy. I want to see him play. If that said,
I campaigned for him too.
Right. That said, if somebody gives us a 2 and somebody like Dante Fowler, or we can roll him over into to somebody that's a pass rusher, then I send Bridgewater off and I put Donald there.
Wait. So you're gonna start Teddy.
Right.
Okay. So
no, again, this is before the season now. And before the season starts. If the season starts and Teddy's still on our roster and we're not going to get anything for him, then I say you start Teddy.
And you don't trade him after that point.
No, you don't trade him after that point.
Okay.
Again, if he gives you and the other thing is, and the other thing that I want to relate this to is the veterans that you have on this team. I would want, if I'm a veteran on this team, I want the best possible quarterback to start. That not only gives us a short-term winning scenario, but that also gives us a long-term winning scenario.
So Leonard Williams, is he a vet?
Yeah, he's a vet. He's a vet. Yeah.
So he was doing backflips when we drafted Sam Darnold.
I know he was. Right. I know he absolutely was. Absolutely.
He was surprised that he was there too.
Right.
But again,
we were doing backflips.
But again, if you're going into the year and you have an opportunity to start the best guy at quarterback, regardless of how many years he's been in the league, why not do that? The second point to me is you have Teddy Bridgewater. If he succeeds next year, you only have him on a 1-year deal. Let's say he does well and we make the playoffs and we go on a run. What do you do at that point? Now you have a controversy.
There's no more leverage, too.
There's no controversy. There's no controversy. He has gotten you to a point where you are winning. You stay with that quarterback.
So the locker room is not going to be like, yo, Teddy's my guy.
I'm saying you stay with Teddy.
Nah.
Why can't you stay with Teddy? If you're winning, why can't you stay with Teddy?
Because now you got to pay him starters money, and you have a third-round draft. I mean, number 3 pick in the draft sitting on the bench. 2 points.
You have enough money. You have enough money to pay him starters money.
You do.
$90 million we have.
You have Sam Darnold.
Is that the best use of your money, though? Is that the best use of your money?
You have Sam Darnold on a rookie deal for a few years. So, we're overpaying for Josh McCown right now, first of all. So, what are you talking
Got
about?
some bro love.
No, because the reason why I did that is because I'm mouthing to Terry off camera, I disagree with you. And so then I put my hand around his brother Brian to be like, it's me versus him. And it looks like you're on Kerry's side, but I'm not sure yet.
Uh-oh. No, I think I'm kind of off to the side on that.
Copy that.
My camera is on Kerry's side, so whenever we see Kerry's shot, you see me.
Yeah.
But just quick point that whoever we trade Teddy Bridgewater to has to sign him long term, or else it's not even worth trading. So they're going to have the money for Teddy Bridgewater if Teddy Bridgewater is going to have a good year. So that also limits the amount of people that can actually trade for a guy.
Not necessarily. I mean, if you have somebody that they have an established starter and he tears his ACL or does something like that where you know he's going to be out for the entire year, you plug Teddy in, you get to the playoffs or whatever happens, and then you get like Wentz. I mean, if Wentz goes down, what happens there? Similar, because obviously they have Foles there, but that's what I'm talking about. A starter that you know is going to be the starter. Deshaun Watson, he goes down. Who are you going to plug in there? You grab Teddy for a second-round draft pick, game 3, 4, 5, or whatever the case may be. Hopefully you get to the playoffs. Deshaun is your guy, and you know that, so you don't have to sign him long-term. Hey, and then you kick him to the curb, and then you do whatever you need to do.
Exactly, and here's my point. My point is, let's not shy away from starting a rookie, because there have been plenty of rookies that have been successful when they started. Look at Troy Aikman, Hall of Famer. Look at Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer, started as rookies. Look at Deshaun Watson, who did an exceptionally great job, and he's probably, a high pick in everybody's fantasy. And I believe
why are we put Deshaun Watson in the same conversation as Peyton Manning and Troy Aikman? I don't think that I like the kid a lot. But I do not think that he deserves to be mentioned with those other teams.
Well, hold on.
I
hear you. Let's examine the context. I was just letting you know that I mentioned the first two because they're Hall of Famers, and they started as rookies. And then now I'm mentioning these younger guys to say that, that these guys were successful as younger guys and up-and-comers who the coaching staff had confidence in starting as well as rookies like Wentz and as Deshaun Watson.
Would you put Dak
as
Prescott?
well?
And look,
would you put Dak Prescott in the same category?
I would.
I would too.
But look what offensive infrastructure they had in place when all of those guys that you mentioned started.
Okay, Kerry, but I hear what you're saying. But now you want Darnold to be a successful 16 to 20-year quarterback, but now you're taking years away from him.
You're not taking years away from him. What you're doing is adding years of experience where you can watch from the sideline. That's what I'm saying.
I'm watching the game film now. This kid looks like – have you seen his pocket presence?
I understand that, and I do agree with you. But what I'm saying is that we have a history of screwing it up, right? So my point is that why can't we wait?
Why can't we wait
when we have somebody that can start and play confidently right now?
But why do we have to always live in the past and the same old Jets and this and that? Why do we have to make all the
Jets? But I'm not saying same old Jets. I'm saying it still makes even if our past was not the past that we have right now. What I'm saying is that it still makes good financial and just good football sense to wait so that we put him in a position where we're not jeopardizing him on a long-term basis.
I don't know. It seems like you or
the guys
or
that you mentioned, those quarterbacks that you mentioned.
Yes.
Tell me what infrastructure that they had that compares offensive infrastructure that compares to what we have right now.
Sometimes quarterbacks help to create that offensive infrastructure. Ben Roethlisberger came to a team. It was a good team, but when he came in, they started him as a rookie as well, and he helped to push them along as well and was a very successful rookie. I just think that we need, as fans, as Jet fans, to really shake this boogeyman complex and hit the reset button, which I believe that Bowles is trying to do and McCagnon's trying to do. We got this quarterback, man. He looks – I've never seen a rookie quarterback have this great of a veteran pocket presence. And Brian and I were just talking about this yesterday. He's got a great internal clock. He's accurate. He hasn't fumbled once, which was one of our things.
Absolutely.
Hesitations that we had in drafting him. I think he's only thrown maybe
Did you knock on wood?
one
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, of course we got to knock on wood.
Yeah,
We're human
yeah,
beings.
yeah.
We got to go out there and play the game. I
Yeah.
totally get that. But there's also proof in the pudding that's been put out as well. So we can't make judgments based off of what we think is going to happen when they're showing us what has already happened.
He's showing us what's happening,
And he's
at this
doing
point.
this with the subpar O-line.
Absolutely.
So
and there's no guarantee that all of these weapons and the $100 million that we're going to get is going to amount to anything. Draft picks, free agents, all that stuff is risk.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could bring in new people and this and that, but there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to get the people that we want on the offensive line to improve it next year. I mean, it increases the likelihood because we have money, but do we know what the free agents are going to be next year? Do we know what? Go ahead.
I'll tell you what'll help him.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's Khalil Mack on the edge is what will help him.
Man, forget about it. You know that.
I'm on that train, Kyle. I'm
Me
on
too.
that train, man. You sold me on it, and I was thinking about it. I was looking at Colin Cowherd, and he was really talking about it. And he was talking about rookie quarterbacks, pay scale, going for it now. And when he 3 minutes, I kind of listened to what he had to say or whatever else, and it made complete sense. When you look at Seattle and what they have going on there, Philly and what they have going on there, the opportunity is now. When you have somebody dynamic at the quarterback position, potentially in Sam Darnold, you go out and you get a Khalil Mack. Talent.
Yeah.
Why not get that? That's one of the things on defense that we need right now. It's a glaring problem.
Right.
We
Huge.
recognize what it is.
Right.
I don't want to give up first-round draft picks, but you know what? I would listen.
Picks. You said plural. You said plural.
Not
Would you
multiple
give up
first round.
one?
No.
Right.
One first, maybe a third. First
You
and the
would do
third.
that?
I would for Khalil Mack
You
today.
would do it. You would do
Today.
that for
I would
Today,
do it.
chips in the middle of the
I would
table.
do it.
Today.
for 2019.
If we're signing him, to a long-term deal, I'm doing it tomorrow.
Wow.
You would give up a 2019 first round pick for him
And a
right
third.
now.
And a third.
I would too.
And a third.
With our D-backs and Leonard Williams and Khalil Mack, we would have a lights out defense on par with.
I don't disagree
Denver
with
Broncos
you.
when they went to Super Bowl.
I don't disagree with you. But at what cost?
A first and a third.
Right. And I think that would be so tough for next year.
What talent are you going to get? That first rounder, you're talking about
Because you're going to draft a pass rusher anyway in the
MVP.
first round. You're going to draft a pass.
And
Well, I shouldn't say you are. It's potential that you will draft a
Correct.
Kerry,
pass rusher
Kerry,
in the first round. So I understand. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Kerry, can I ask you a
understand what you're
question?
Go ahead,
Can I ask you a question? Would you trade Vernon Golston and Chad Hansen for Khalil Mack?
I don't like you, Kyle. Why you got to bring up Vernon Golston?
Hold on a second.
We just talked about not bringing up the past, and you want to bring up Vernon Golston. I'm just
That's
saying.
a first-round
I
pass
get
rusher.
that. Yeah. Yes.
By the way, Kyle McCann is coming out swinging. He tried to check me before. He was like, "Hey, listen, I don't like you comparing us."
Funny. I love it, though.
And now he's coming. And now he's coming at me. I
me.
love it too.
He's
I
coming
love
at me.
it.
I'm not that West
BK
Coast
all day.
passive aggressive. I'm New York all the way.
I know.
All day.
You
All
better
day.
keep that. You better
All
keep
day.
that. Yeah. Don't be fake mellow out there.
Before we
Vernon
move on,
Golston.
Yeah.
well, Kyle, what was your opinion though, or did I miss that at the end of the day? I mean, are you starting Sam Darnold or what?
I would start Sam Darnold if I'm gonna keep Teddy Bridgewater as my 2
For the whole season? You have to keep him for the whole season?
Yeah, if I'm gonna keep him for the whole season as my 2, I could feel all right with doing either. To be quite honest with you, I would not be uncomfortable with starting Teddy and waiting, and I wouldn't be uncomfortable with the other option. I'm kind of in the middle with it, but if you're pressing me for an answer, I start Darnold.
Okay.
After what I watched against the Giants, I started.
Copy
Right.
that. And I agree with you.
All right,
Can we talk about the
none
rest
of-
of the game though?
None of y'all wanted to draft Darnold anyway. So.
No.
I was
Give you
I was
that
by
credit.
myself on an island, so I don't
No,
mind
it's
being
still
by
by
It's
myself
yourself.
on
not
this
like we
island
didn't
right
want.
here.
It's not like we didn't want to draft him, but there was a
This
hierarchy.
Jay,
got-
you wanted
I
Baker
kinda- I
Mayfield.
didn't-
You
Yes,
wanted Baker
there
Mayfield.
was a hierarchy. Yes,
I didn't.
Right.
Yes,
I wanted
I will
Darnold
admit,
first.
yeah.
I did
wanted Darnold
not.
first.
I was wrong.
Give me that hand, B, right there. Boom.
Right?
You know,
I will
Now can we move on?
Me too. I was wrong as well.
I will admit I'm very glad we didn't draft Rosen.
Me
Oh,
too.
Absolutely.
Very
Me too.
Oh my
Me
God.
too, because I wanted Rosen over Donald as well. There
Me
was
too.
a hierarchy.
Yep.
and I had Mayfield, Rosen, then Darnold.
Nobody
Right.
wanted Allen.
Nah.
No, still don't.
Nah, word.
Still
Still don't.
Nuh-uh.
I'm actually I'm happy he's on the Bills.
Me too. So we can crush them out too, crush their spirits as we do most of the time, except for
Funny.
last year.
Not to mention we got 3 games in 13 days, 10 days.
10 days. It's crazy.
10 days.
Yeah,
That's a lot for a rookie quarterback to digest.
I mean, we'll know what we have after
Just
those
saying.
3 games.
Again, that's
True.
what I'm saying.
I'm just
We will
glad.
know.
I'm saying Teddy throwing touchdowns like
With the second
he
team.
laughing
But he
Off
He
the
had the
back
same
foot,
amount of
too.
off the
touchdowns.
back foot.
Same amount of touchdowns as Darnold.
I'm just saying.
he looked
He looked real
saying too.
confident on the second team.
And
So did
Donald was
Darnold.
taking
Looked good.
Donald's taking it up the field and running with the internal clock. Yeah, you know what? I'm a slide now
And Bridgewater
because
isn't?
I have the mentality of a veteran. No, Bridgewater's already a veteran. I'm just saying this 21-year-old who just turned 21 2 months ago.
Hey, I like him.
You know what I'm saying?
Maxi.
I don't like him. I'm starting to borderline.
Man
You
crush.
love him? Oh, okay.
Man
Love him.
crush, yeah.
Right.
I already, you'll see.
yeah,
I already
yeah.
gave him a name. His name is
Right.
Sam Brandon Phillips Darnold.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sam Brandon Phillips Darnold, baby.
Wow.
Eee!
He's
Wow.
a love child.
All right, listen, guys. Let's move on.
Whoa.
This was a spirited conversation. I loved it. Kind of want to go more. I love the way Kyle tried to check me, though. I love that too. I love it. Kyle's coming out
Right.
there
Aggressive.
swinging. Yeah, I love it. You know, not even passive. So let's talk about the final 53 on our rosters. Okay. Now, we don't have enough time to talk about every single player, but for me personally, and feel free to expand, everybody. There are 3 positions I think that we really need to address as far as who makes it on the final 53. And those positions to me are tight end. There's a big question mark there. Outside linebacker, which we were talking about a little bit, especially with the whole Khalil Mack and Fowler potentially, making a deal for. And also our kicker. And we saw how sorry our overall special teams play.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
So let's talk about that. And if I missed anything, let's talk about who else needs to make this 53 because we have some guaranteed givens. But let's talk about some of the question marks.
I have the 2 deep up on the computer too. If you have any questions on that too, I have the whole depth chart.
Copy that.
Okay. Wants to dive in first?
I'll dive in. I don't care.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? All right. So the tight end position. The tight end position to me is imperative, especially for a young quarterback. It's an outlet safety type of a person. And I haven't seen anyone stand out that will give me a sense of comfort for being that safety outlet guy for my franchise quarterback, Sam Brandon Phillips Darnold.
No,
So
wow.
the one that is standing out and that is playing the best and the most consistent to me right now is Sterling. Donald Sterling or is it
Neil.
Neil Sterling? My bad.
Neil Sterling.
Oh my gosh, I said Donald Sterling.
Right. Wow.
Donald Clemens.
was
Yeah,
close.
Donald Clemens.
Close.
Yeah. Not the former owner of the Clippers. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah. So Sterling and he's been consistent. Clive Owen. I'm sorry, Clive Wolford. What am I doing over here?
Yo,
Wow.
dude.
Not the British actor.
Yo,
But
dude.
no, but Clive. I'm just gonna say
What is
Clive.
wrong
How
with
about we give you?
Right.
How about we give you a list
my
of the players
gosh.
so you can
I
actually
got-
know their names?
I have it right now.
That is terrible.
You're 5 tight ends right now that
Come
are
on.
considered.
Thanks, Kyle. Thank you.
Listen,
All right,
man.
you got Eric Tomlinson, Jordan Leggett, Neil Sterling,
Snatch him
Chris
off your phone.
Herndon, and Clive Walford.
Walford.
And-
My bad.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they keep Tomlinson, Sterling, and Herndon, and Leggett and Walford are cut.
Leggett is going to be cut. Wow.
Yeah.
Leggett is gonna get cut.
I agree with you, and that's what Brian and I were talking about off camera. I think we've seen the most production and potential out of those guys, and Leggett, since the league hasn't, I still believe in him because we, spent the 5th round draft pick on him, but the league hadn't seen that much of him, so he's got a greater chance of getting cut, clearing waivers, and then ending up on our practice squad. Hopefully that happens.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. I don't think he's gonna get picked up.
I think we're going to end up taking 4, to be honest
4
with you.
tight ends, huh?
Yeah, and I think Clive goes. And I think that
Like goes
Sterling,
away?
he gets cut.
Cut,
He
copy.
gets cut.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
Sterling, Herndon, Tomlinson, and Leggett. And the reason why I say Leggett stays is because he was a draft pick last year, and I think they're not going to give up on him yet.
No.
That's really
I
where
think
I'm
that's
at.
the scenario that I would assume
Yeah.
would happen too.
Yeah.
I mean, does he play kickoff and kickoff return?
I do not know.
I don't know if he's playing special teams. I don't know.
If he doesn't play special,
gonna be tough.
like Josh Martin starts for us and he plays all the special teams. So I don't know how Jordan Leggett's going to stay on the team. I do agree with Brandon that he could be a practice squad guy, but I don't see how he can stay on the team unless he's playing specials. Clive Walford has actually done stuff in games. He's actually caught passes.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're going to go with the old guy rather than the younger guys. Eric Tomlinson is probably the most all around blocker and catching the ball.
Mr. Offsides, Tomlinson. Gee whiz. You gotta be kidding me, bro.
Yeah, we
got the hair coming out the back.
Let's not talk about the penalties that we had last game.
Neil Sterling, when you put a package of Neil Sterling, Terrell Pryor, and Quincy Enunwa on the field at the same time, it's almost like a 3 tight end package.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll save Terrell Pryor for my peak me, but I think that's what you're going with. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep 4, like Brian said, but I think it's only going to be if one of those guys is a special teams guy.
My thing is like they should keep 3 and then keep, instead of 4 and then keep 3 QBs, as far as like activating 3, but whatever.
I don't think they're going to activate 3. I think that they'll just do the rule and it won't count against. It's the 53 plus 1, I believe.
Oh, okay. Copy that.
Yeah.
Copy that. All righty. So that there we are. Kerry or Brian, you guys want to add a little bit more about the tight ends? Because after this, I want to move on to the outside linebackers.
I don't have anything to add about the tight ends. I'm not really excited about it. About the position.
You look angry saying that too.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
I'm not excited about the position. And again, I like Herndon, but he hasn't showed me enough during the preseason. And I don't know if it's because he wasn't targeted enough. I think Kyle might be able to speak more to that.
Didn't he have an injury at some point in
like
training
a
camp?
knee or something.
He's been banged up. The whole camp.
Yeah, same thing with him and and Leggett. But I do think I'm looking forward to seeing what the tight ends are going to be able to do during the season because I actually have seen some things. I've
Sterling.
seen some flashes. Sterling has definitely shown me something
like
down the field, middle of the field. I think we're going to need a tight end with Darnold starting. So we're gonna need somebody for him to throw the ball to over the middle. So I'm kind of interested in seeing where we go with that. And you kind of disparage the wide receivers just to go back to it a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I do think that we have some wide receivers that can do stuff, this year. Honestly.
So do I.
I do.
I think the wide receivers in general are being slept on.
Absolutely.
I like Quincy. I like Anderson. I like the steady man. I look at him as Jermaine Kearse is our steady guy.
Yep.
And if Pryor can stay on the field, I love that red zone targeting.
I love that
runs a 4.4 at 6'4", 230.
Well, he's the one that's supposed to stretch the field.
Yeah.
He's supposed to stretch the field.
And Robbie Anderson.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think they're flying under the radar. Basically, is what I'm saying. And you know what? That's fine with me. That's totally fine with me. You can totally fly under the radar and bang them on the head come game day. And besides, we're playing Detroit first game of the season, so let's bang them first and then come out and knock somebody else around. Who's our second game? Is it Cleveland?
I think it's Cleveland.
Yeah.
Man, come on, let's go Jets. Anyway, so let's move on to
don't sleep on Cleveland. I'm telling
No,
you, man.
I'm not sleeping on them. I'm not. I mean, they're definitely improved. So I'm hoping we catch them in the beginning, punch them in the face before they start getting good.
They got a decent receiving core.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about the receivers here. So
Go ahead.
out of Hanson, Stewart, Peak, Johnson, McBride, Roberts, and Whitehead,
Wow.
only 1 to 2 of those guys are going to stay.
Well, listen, we had 72 wide receivers. We
Pete.
got to cut it down to 6. So, it kind of is what it is. I think Hanson stays.
I like McBride.
Pete.
McBride's been playing well.
And McBride has been playing well as well. Yeah.
Well, Andre Roberts looked pretty good in the last game. He was catching passes in addition to the kickoff return, which is his specialty. So you probably won't get Andre Roberts cut because of that. Lucky Whitehead, he'll be playing in a different uniform week 2. McBride is a question. I don't like Johnson, but Johnson does make plays. Peak had a good game 2 games ago, had that nice touchdown.
That's
all we saw of him.
He's gone.
He can bounce.
Gone.
Let's see if he can come back and make it to the practice squad.
I don't know if Hanson's going to make this team.
I think they will because of a general manager thing. They need to validate their position.
Yep.
But honestly, he hasn't shown me anything. So
he's got to play. He's got to do something.
He's got to do something. So yeah, put it out there. Let me see what you got. But compare it to like McBride, who has shown me something, and he's got a quick little jitterbug thing about him. I like him a lot, and he's got some good hands. So I like this guy, McBride.
Definitely.
So you keep McBride over Darius Stewart?
Yes.
You keep McBride over Peak?
Yes.
You keep McBride over Johnson?
Yes.
Yep.
So, I mean, with that said, it's looking like you'll have Robbie Anderson, Pryor, Enunwa, and then you will have Hanson, McBride, and Roberts as your 6 receivers.
I'd say the Hanson thing is
somebody?
interchangeable. So 6 receivers. So do that again, Kyle.
All right, so you have Robbie Anderson. And Robbie Anderson. Well, you got a Jermaine Kearse too.
Yeah,
I didn't say
exactly.
Jermaine
Exactly.
Kearse.
So that's 7.
All
That'll
right.
be 7.
All right, so if you go top 4, as like your best 4 that you're going to put on the field at the same time.
Right.
Anderson, Pryor, Kearse, and Enunwa. Those are your top 4.
Gotcha.
Then after that, you're looking at Hanson, McBride, and Roberts, with Roberts primarily playing special teams. Probably McBride primarily playing special teams. Now you got to ask yourself, if Hanson is just a receiver and he's not playing special teams, which I'm not sure about. I haven't seen him running around a lot on the teams.
Mm-hmm.
That could spell doom for him, because I know that Peak plays special teams and I know Stewart plays special teams.
I don't have a problem with letting Hanson go, but I would try to get him back on waivers and put him on the practice squad if possible. He's another player that the league hadn't seen that much of. We haven't even seen that much of him performing well in practice, and it was only during the OTAs that they were really talking about him. So
OTAs are in shorts. So.
They're in shorts, and not even shells. It's just shorts. So, listen, you got to go. I would keep our Darius Stewart over Hanson at this point right now. And you know what? I'm not even a huge fan of that kid. So,
isn't he suspended or something?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is
suspended
for the first.
So
4,
you don't
right?
have to. So you don't have to keep him.
Right. True.
All right.
I think Herndon is suspended for 1 game too. Am I mistaken in that? Because he had a Dewey, right?
Dewey.
So that's another one. Just to answer your question from before. Another
one.
Dylan Donahue.
Dylan Donahue can fly the coop too.
Oh, absolutely. Hasn't shown anything. So I mean, why keep him? What about the outside linebackers?
Yeah, let's move on to the OLBs. So that guy Luvu, it's actually pronounced. It's spelled Luvu, but the actual pronunciation is love you. It's like I'm playing. I'm all about the love today, guys.
Right. I was like, are you serious or not?
Man, listen, I love my Jets, man. Come on, baby. I love my Jets. I love Sam Darnold, and I like Luvu a lot. I don't love him yet, so we'll see. Yeah.
All right.
But,
so this is the current guys. The current guys you have at outside linebacker. You have Josh Martin, David Bass, who I think has been hurt and hasn't been playing. Dylan Donahue, Frank Love You, Jordan Jenkins, Lorenzo Malden, Brandon Copeland, and Obum Guacom.
My God.
Yeah. I mean, that's not. That might be the worst outside linebacker group in the NFL.
Absolutely.
And out of all of those, I like Luvu the best, probably.
You love him, you mean?
And Jenkins.
And Jenkins, right?
Love you.
Yeah. I like Jenkins' potential. I think Jenkins. I mean, we could be talking about Jenkins a year from now as like he had his breakout year, because if Kevin Green says so, I trust him.
And I wanted Malden to do more. I mean, he was hurt, right?
Yeah.
Green like Donahue too.
Two plays.
I don't know if I trust him.
I don't like Donahue.
Me neither.
No, well, I was saying Green. You talked up Donahue last year, and
But Donahue's sober now. So after he drove his car the wrong way in the Holland Tunnel.
Lincoln.
Okay.
Was
So
it
now
Lincoln?
he's gonna be better.
He wasn't there.
He was a
It
Lincoln.
was probably the 495 that was the
He
issue.
was a Lincoln.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was trying to avoid that
I thought you
495.
said
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't closed then.
No, well, his anticipation
He went the
is
wrong way.
great. He's got great
I
anticipation.
don't
Yeah.
know about that.
That means if
You
he's
need
gonna,
that for an outside linebacker.
if he's gonna do that, he's gonna be the one that like gets the fumble recovery and runs the wrong way. Like,
Right, right.
Yo,
Why
I
are they
want that.
chasing me? Why are they running with me?
how about the big cat on the fumble recovery? That
Oh,
was
yeah.
Oh my
See that
God.
speed on the big cat? I was like, woo!
That's right.
You know,
He looked like a tight end. That's what the announcer said. Oh, he looks Iron Eagle, looking like a tight end. And then he got walked by
Right.
Nate Solder.
Who's like 6'12".
yeah,
Yeah.
6'12".
Running like this.
Let's stop. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's-
man.
I mean, but Jenkins, seriously, Louvu. I mean, besides that, Brandon Copeland, maybe.
This is why we need a complimentary edge rusher that would loosen things up
Absolutely.
for the big cat in the biggest ways. Like, he is a stud, but he would become a star and a stud put together if we had just another person
Right.
who put fears in the eyes of the opposing offense from an outside edge rushing position. It would loosen things up. Loosen things up
Fowler
big time.
for Bridgewater, straight up.
I would do it. Fowler was the number 3 draft pick 2 or 3 years ago.
Jacksonville isn't going to do it.
I know they're not.
They
have too much money invested in their quarterback.
I'll
Even
put
though
it
they
to you
have
this
no
way.
confidence in him.
I'm not taking anything less than a second round pick.
Yes, you
You're
are.
For no,
No.
Yes, you
no,
are.
I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm not. I'm
not
actually
either.
pushing for a first and a little bit. Because if they're gonna value Brissett for number 2, Bridgewater's that much better.
You can't, again.
Give me 2 twos and
it's
I'll
about
do
the
it.
It's about the market and
Right.
about the demand.
Right now,
true.
there's no
And-
demand and there's no market.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
So you
That's
don't
the
trade
point.
him. So you don't trade him.
Exactly.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. You don't
Yeah.
trade him.
That's fine.
You don't trade
Unless
him. Unless you get, like you said, what you want.
Yeah.
exactly.
And if you don't trade him, you start him.
No.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Let him
No,
sit.
if you don't trade him, you keep him there. Oh, hey guys, you see how great he played in the preseason? Oh, hey guys, guess what? He's still very healthy.
Plug and play
Oh,
starter.
you want him?
Yeah.
Boom.
We digress.
Bound.
Yeah, what happened?
Back to the 53.
What happens? You start Sam Donald and he jams his thumb.
Then you
And he
put in
can't-
Bridgewater.
He can't grip the ball. Then you put in Bridgewater. You don't miss a step.
Not
Exactly.
at
You
all.
you might start a quarterback controversy, but you're not going to miss.
There's no controversy. You're not going to lose your position through injury. We're going to hold that philosophy down and respect that. And then you know what? 2 weeks later, when his thumb is feeling great, we put him right back in. Play your position. There we go.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
You Louisville.
I love you, Lou. Say that again.
What a difference a year makes.
I know, seriously, totally. And then now, the kicker and special teams overall, but the last position of concern for me was the kicker. So who do we just get? Cairo Santos. We just clipped him. Sorry.
Oh,
Right. He rolled his R's.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
I was just a
Right.
jerk. But yeah, so we got rid of him because he's been having hamstring issues throughout camp.
Yeah.
And then we brought in this other kid that missed a field goal for us. Or was
Where's
it a
Nick
point
Foles?
after? Nick Foles, huh? I would take him back.
Right?
Yeah. Is he back with Dallas or something? I have a friend of mine. Her name is Kim White. Shout out to Kim White. She's a big Jets fan, and she calls Nick Foles Nick Fold because he's always folding out the pressure.
Wow.
But I was like, nah, Kim, he's actually
Suit.
pretty good.
Like a cheap
Yeah. I'm a little concerned. I mean, the last thing you think about is your kicker, but you need somebody that's reliable out there. We need every point that we can get. We have a small margin for error in order to get wins versus losses. So I'm a little bit concerned about this position, and I feel like maybe they should have focused a little bit more on that. We had the money, It could have been somebody out there that we could have signed. So why not?
Totally. It's so easy to pick up a free agent kicker, too.
Right.
So we
Right.
totally
I
could
mean,
have done that.
it feels like McKagan's playing fantasy football and he's just signing a kicker because he needs one.
Funny.
Week
to
pulling one week to week.
Yeah.
Don't do that with the defense. Let me tell you that.
No.
Don't do that.
I pulled up the stats, the preseason stats, and there's some really funny things in here. Like, first of all, who do you think the leading yards per carry rusher is on the Jets this preseason?
Cannon.
Darnold.
Brandon, you are correct.
Wow.
Sam
Give that
Darnold's
man a
averaging
prize.
5 yards a rush.
5
I
yards.
don't
a-
want my
Um,
quarterback rushing.
I know.
How many attempts and completions has Josh McCown had this preseason?
0.
1.
He's 1 for 1. 3 games into the preseason. I mean, you're telling me that guy's going to start a game
He's
this
player.
year?
He's player
Yeah.
coach. He's
Player coach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you look at the receiving, you have to go all the way down the list for 1 catch from Chad Hansen. And then you have 5 catches from Ardarius Stewart. You got 4 catches from McBride. I'm looking at this now and I'm saying maybe is this including the Giant game?
I don't think Hansen had a catch in the Giants game.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not telling me when the date of this is. But anyway, I mean, we have 2 quarterbacks that are completing. Teddy Bridgewater is completing 73% of his passes in the preseason.
Nice.
And Sam Darnold's at 65%. So, I mean, that's just wonderful stuff to see.
Yeah, man. Like you were saying before, Kyle, what a difference a year makes. And if you guys remember from when we were just doing our little test runs on this show, basically, guys, we're coming up on a year of us between our unaired shows that we were using as test runs and when we basically first started this thing. But during our little test runs and our little chemistry tests for our shoots, we were talking about basically and leading up into the draft, all this talk, we were talking about acquiring. We wanted to make sure that we got McCown back.
Yep.
The GM was on page with that. And then we were talking about Bridgewater. I know I was like, Bridgewater. Were you on that too? I think you might have been on that as well. And I think the only thing where it diverted was the fact that they didn't get our guy that we really, really wanted, Mayweather, but it looks like Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
And Darnold ends up being our guy and then some. So I'm just thoroughly happy with as far as the QBs are concerned, the way that we've orchestrated this. It's borderline awesome. But yeah.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield has played well in the preseason.
Yes, he has.
He has played well in the preseason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's nice to have Hard Knocks be following Cleveland too this year. I like. I don't know if you guys saw the last episode with Bob Wiley, the O-line coach from Cleveland.
No,
he's a character. He's a character.
It's absolutely hilarious,
Yeah.
and he runs a clinic for offensive line coaches only that takes place in Cincinnati that I've been to, and it's like the most nerded out offensive line coaching thing that you could ever do, and he's just as funny there as he is on the show. So it's like, I was kind of aware of how funny he was, but now the whole world knows just, like he's having this whole conversation about World War II with one of the offensive linemen. I forget which guy it was. And the guy, it was just 5 minutes long, just talking about World War II.
Yeah, General Patton was, well, MacArthur, it's not just named after a high school in Levittown. What it really is not.
And every time he says set hut, his belly like comes up. Set hut.
So let me guess, he's like a heavier set guy.
Oh, he's big.
Yeah.
Big.
funny.
All right,
yeah,
guys.
you gotta check it out. You're definitely gonna check it out.
Nice. So, what I want to do is talk a little tweak me and peak me. Okay, so let's cue up the little music there for our segment tweak me, peak me.
Sound
all right,
boy.
and then what? Some boy, ain't no need to worry. All right, so here we go.
Wait.
Stand by for that. But
Yeah, let me get it up.
yeah, let's get that. So just to let you know, folks, we're running all this ourselves. So, I just want to big up to the team, which is all of us. We all play an important part of giving you this show and all of its content live and full effect.
Ready
But
to go?
Let's go. Cue it up. Yeah. Tweak me, peak me. Like my name, Keithy.
Here we go.
All right, folks. Whenever you hear that, the segment of Tweak Me, Peak Me is coming up. So, if you wouldn't mind, guys, let me just lead this one off real quick, okay? I'm going to start with Peak Me, all right? And I'm going to keep it short and simple because I want to move on to the Tweak Me. Peak Me, Sam Brandon Phillips Darnold. Boom. That's it. I'm just gonna leave it right there. I said it. Boom. Now I'm gonna get to what tweaks me. Alrighty. What tweaks me is the fact that I'm not a fan of this rule at all. This new helmet rule. I'm taking a strong stand against this because I feel like this new helmet rule, especially how it's been called on the field of play during the preseason, I think it's taking away from the integrity of football. And I'm saying this because you are now basically ruling on how to tackle someone. And we've also made progress in the past, like you don't see spearing anymore. You don't see horse collaring. You don't see clotheslining. So the fact that, the NFL and football itself isn't trying to limit the dangers of football is a false narrative. And I don't think anyone here will object to that or saying that the NFL isn't doing anything. But I think that there are people out there that think the NFL isn't doing that, and it's just a group of barbarians out there that just want to destroy one another. No, that's not the case. But I feel like this is going a little bit too far. I feel like big hits and hitting in general is part of the game of football. I think that's a part of the draw to football. It's like taking dunking out of basketball, all right, which is a huge draw. But we also want to do it in a safe way. So in a perfect form tackle, you're going to use your shoulder, you're going to put your head to one side or the other and make the tackle. And I just feel like now they're questioning that now. And I'm just going to bring this up. I agree wholeheartedly with Richard Sherman. We just went full screen on this, and I'll read it to you. Richard Sherman says, there is no, quote, make adjustment to the way you tackle. Even in a perfect form tackle, the body is led by the head. The rule is idiotic and should be dismissed immediately. When you watch rugby players tackle, they all still lead with their heads. This will become flag football soon.
Well, I would say this. I think the NFL itself has put themselves in the position that they're in that what you did with the concussion issue has led the narrative to go in that direction where people don't trust what you're doing and the safety of players. So I think it kind of starts the momentum in that direction. I do agree with Richard Sherman in that it's hard to legislate that out of football. One thing I would say, and I don't know if you guys saw the games or whatever, the week 3 preseason games, but I didn't hear the narrative after the week 3 games.
The first 2 I did.
The first 2, yes.
Yeah.
The week 3, I haven't heard anything. And I watched ESPN, and I haven't seen that. In the Jets game, I didn't see one called.
Correct.
Right? So when you think about it, maybe it's the interpretation of the rule. And I know that they sent out some things to the refs and all of that around that. So maybe they're starting to hone in on exactly what they're looking for overall and what would cause a flag. I do think that we need to have something in place. I do think that, the safety of players is of the utmost importance. So doing nothing is not appropriate. But I do think it's just the interpretation of the rule, not necessarily the rule itself, that could lead us to the place that we ultimately want to land.
Yeah, I have nothing to add other than ditto Brian, because that's the discussion that we had off air. You have to recognize that it is a problem. Head injuries are a problem in this particular sport, and it plays a major role in whether or not it's going to continue. And as we see, the numbers are dropping dramatically with regard to the Pop Warner level of football and the parents allowing or not allowing their children to play. And if you're going to make it safer, which is what the idea is, then there would be less apprehension for allowing your child to play the sport.
I think that I'm going to chime in kind of in between that too. Like, I think Brian is onto something with the fact that the interpretation is what we're seeing right now. I think they want as much film in the officiating booth as they could possibly get to do these interpretations. I think that we got to give that the benefit of the doubt until we get to like week 1 and week 2, because a lot of the hits that we were seeing were really good form tackles, and they were not
right.
bad hits.
At
But
all. At all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that you kind of have to. I think the best officials in the sport of football are on the highest level in the NFL. You look at all these officials when they put their stats on the bottom of the screen. Most of them have been doing this for 20 plus years. You know, like it's almost like the Supreme Court. Like you get on there and you interpret the rules as they're written the best that you can. And you're going to have opinions that sway one way or the other, but there's always a lot of people interpreting it. So I think that you're going to get the veteran presence that's going to filter down and make the rule what it is. I think that they've made real big strides as far as the blue tent, getting guys in and evaluating them,
Yeah.
not putting them back on the field, you know, just in 3-4 years. And I agree with Kerry. Like, you know, as a coach, you see participation going down, but you also see people get more comfortable when coaches and people that run organizations can show you what they're doing for safety, what kind of adjustments they're making, and I choose to have like the positive outlook on this, that you know, as things change, as coaches adjust, as the game adjusts, those numbers will come back. I hope. I think most of the people that will say I'll never let my kid play football are in some ways ignorant to the entire picture. I'm not saying that they're ignorant in general. I'm just saying that a lot of people are quick to say, "Well, I would never do that," without looking into the statistics for other sports that compare to football as far as injuries in general. And you know, I never hear anybody come up to me saying, "I would never let my kid skateboard. I would never let my kid go in a bouncy castle."
Right.
Yet the statistics are there, and I can show them to them. You know, that you're taking as big a risk. But you know, it's all about education and being aware and all that. And I think the NFL is taking positive steps. I think that they didn't for a really long time. They put their assets in harm's way.
Right.
And they're going to pay for that. There's you know, class actions that have been you know, ruled against them, and they're going to pay for that. They're going to pay the older players money and deal with that. But
and I think that's what leads to the narrative that we're talking about today, more so than anything else. I mean, if they did the right thing from day one, didn't try to hide the whole concussion thing from day one, you know, they're ground zero for concussions right now because of what they did or did not do in the past.
Right.
So,
Right. And what I would also add, and I think this might have been touched upon, is that the preseason is not just to evaluate your edge rusher or your quarterback. It's to evaluate, you know, the new rules that you're putting in place and how you're calling, you know, and applying those rules.
Yep.
So, you know, it's a process, and you know, like Kyle said, let's wait until game 1 and 2 and see if they have changed how they are how they are calling the plays and applying the new rules. I think it's a work in progress, and we'll see.
That's very true. I agree with that. I think the thing that really bothers me the most is that football as a sport is a contact sport, and I'm not dismissing the fact that there needs to be changes or the safety of the players as far as concussions are concerned need to be addressed, but it's the implementation and the interpretation, as Brian was saying, of the rule. So I saw some poor interpretations in the preseason of that rule that would prohibit people from being able to play football. It made it way more advantageous to the offense than it does the defense. And then also it puts the defensive player at risk. It kind of forces them to not try to wrap someone up and tackle, to come in high with tackles, you know, to expose their sternum to hits of shoulders and heads or whatever as the offensive player is running into them, or just to not try to wrap someone up like in that playoff game where the Saints, if they made that tackle,
versus the Vikings.
Exactly, versus the Vikings, where the guy just comes in, doesn't wrap him up, and just gets dipped on, and then they score the touchdown. So things like that. And then also through all this whole concussion stuff that we're talking about, we have not spoken not once, about what efforts the NFL, or lack thereof of efforts, the NFL is doing to improve the technology of the helmets, of the shoulder pads, of all of these concussive protective wear that football players wear, and what's going on with that? Like, how many millions or whatever is the NFL and football in general putting into that to maybe disperse the concussive impact that players face every time they line up against one another? There's no talk about that. Let's talk about that. Maybe we need more money towards that. Maybe they need to hire a specific scientific team to develop these things. I'm just not hearing anything, and that's why I'm pulling at straws, but give me something to work with. And it's also the penalties of these things. So they're making it seem like these players are coming in with malicious intent to just knock someone out with the crown of their helmets, and you'll get a 15-yard penalty. If you if you get like two unsportsmanlikes, which that would be, you'll get suspended or kicked out of the game. If you get kicked out of the game, ridiculous. And if you get suspended, now you're losing money. Okay, and where's that going to go? Back to the NFL. So now you're preventing people from earning a living. And I know a lot of these guys are millionaires, but I'm one of those people that's like, a wrong is wrong and right is right. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, they're making millions. They can just, who cares if they're getting fined for it? No, that's not how I'm constituted. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And these men need to be able to provide and earn an honest living and provide for their family just like anyone else. And I feel like this rule is kind of almost taking away from that. It's setting them up for failure. So the rule is there, okay, but now we need to consciously interpret it in a way that is realistic. Like,
Agreed.
How are you going to be able to change levels in this? Someone's running a 4.4 and you run a 4.4 as well, and they see you and they try to dip on you, and all of a sudden they lower their shoulder, and then you lower to meet them. The low man wins in football. Your helmet happens to make contact with his, and all of a sudden you're out the game and you get fined $50,000. I need that 50. So
that's a drop. I need that 50.
50.
Complicated issue.
Yeah.
Complicated.
It is a complicated
Definitely.
issue. Yeah. But anyway, so guys, I do have a note. All right, that I'd like to read off.
Wait. Do any of us have peek me and tweak me?
Oh, my bad.
Right, you just gobbled up the whole time.
I didn't gobble up the whole time. I just did the one thing. But go ahead. Hey, listen, man. Listen.
We should move it along a little bit too, because I think we're getting a little long-winded with some of these segments.
It's all. Yeah. You know why? Because this is a juicy episode, so it's all good. So go ahead, B.
Oh, okay. All right.
And hurry up. Now I'm playing.
Yeah, right now. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my notes out. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be quick, too. So listen, the peak me, obviously, is Sam Darnold for me. I mean, everything he's been able to do.
Sam
game,
Brandon Phillips Darnold.
No,
please,
I'm not going to. No, thank you. 8 of 16, 86 yards, and a touchdown. 2 touchdown drives. Awesome. As far as the tweak me is concerned, I mean, man, the penalties the last game, too many drops. Sam Darnold's 8 should have been like 12 for 16.
Yeah.
It was like 4 drops.
Yes.
It was ridiculous. When you look at Claiborne getting burned in the game, I was a little concerned about that. That was almost a touchdown right there. And, if that's – anyway, I was a little bit tweaked about that. And special teams specifically, just abysmal.
Yeah.
Punt touchdown, long punt return, a missed PAT,
penalties,
fumble, penalties on them as well. I'm not as concerned about the special teams because as I look at it, the first 2 games, I didn't think about the special teams at all. So maybe this was just an abysmal game and an aberration. But those were my tweak me's.
For me, it's going to be quick. My peak me's are the same things that tweak me are the penalties. The reason that it tweaks me, obviously, because we're being penalized, the reason that it peaks me is that we can make those adjustments at practice. We can correct those by looking at film and saying, look, this is wrong. Don't do it again.
Doing push-ups. Wait, that's not working.
No.
Running until someone throws up. I don't know.
Up and down, right?
Yeah.
Brandon loves that one.
And the other thing is are the drops.
That's old school.
Right. The other thing are the drops. The drops don't help a young quarterback.
No.
So we can, again, it tweaks me for that reason, but it piques me for the purpose of that where you're going to make those catches. You're going to make those catches during game time scenarios when it counts. So those are the things that concern me. But again, I'm optimistic about it because we can make those adjustments. That's what we have our coaching staff for. That's what we have. That's why this is called the preseason, because it don't count.
All right.
What you got, Kyle?
So we talked a little off air about Isaiah Crowell and how much I love the way that he looks early on as part of this offense. I think that Crowell and Bilal Powell are going to be a really nice 1-2 punch.
Yep, agreed.
I'd like to figure out who that third running back is going to be until Elijah McGuire gets back.
Cannon.
I think that Cannon looks really nice out of the backfield. Like, I was watching all the Teddy Bridgewater throws last night, and half of them seem to be to Cannon, either on screens or like swing passes.
Yep.
So, I don't like that he has a little bit of ball security issues, and he looks a little bit uncomfortable in one of the things that we drafted him for, which is the return game. But he has tremendous speed, and I think that maybe George Atkinson is the guy that's the third guy, and Cannon is a roster spot, but more for the special teams thing, and we'll see. But he does have a little bit of the things you like in other teams, guys like that, like the Darren Sproles type
Sure.
stuff. I really, really like, and I don't know if this is a preseason thing or if it's going to extend, but Jeremy Bates' use of the crossing routes. I think if you look at all the highlights of all the preseason games, I think at least 4 of our touchdowns passing the ball have been on crossing routes, shallow crosses,
Underneath crosses, yeah.
Terrell Pryor, who saw his first action. Quincy Nunwa saw his first action the other night. So it's like we have these guys that are able to kind of work the middle of the field. And then even the running backs, when we split them out, we go empty because we like to put Sam Darnold in that empty situation. Gives him a really big field to look at if we can block it up. Isaiah Crowell had his touchdown in the first game with that crossing route. So those are things that pique me.
Yep.
The things that tweak me are it's more of the same. The special teams, the O-line depth tweaks me. And the kicker situation tweaks me because I don't even know what's going to happen with that. Is it going to be Cairo Santos? I don't know, but we need somebody that we don't have to worry about.
Santos got cut.
Yeah, Santos got cut, so it's not going to be him at least the first couple games because of the injury.
He had a groin problem.
Jason Billouette or something like that?
Yeah.
I think he's French. Louette, gentil, la Louette. Louette, gentil plumare. Gentil plumare, la tête. Gentil plumare. All right, I'm sorry. That's from French
I just
class.
mixed our two kickers' names together. It's Taylor Bertolette and Jason Myers. I said Jason Bertolette.
You got the Brandons.
Bertolette was okay, except he missed the PAT the last game. Other than that, I think he hasn't missed a field goal, but
can't miss PATs.
I get it. 200%.
Yep. You guys like that French song? That was
terrible.
Like French class.
Terrible.
That's Baldwin
Don't
pride
do it
right
again.
there.
Don't do it
Man.
again.
Mr. Cardillo was a great French teacher.
Here
All right,
we
fine.
go.
Yeah,
whatever.
Gotcha.
Gee whiz. Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead.
French in your own time.
What are you talking about? He's over there calling people Darno like he's a French teacher.
That was like 6 episodes ago. Shut up.
like 2. Jerk.
Previously on BKBK Podcast.
Right. Darno, and more Darno.
All right, great job. Yeah. So what else, Kyle? Anything else?
Nah, what's up with the Baldwin Bruins, man?
Yeah. You know what? Hey, listen, the Baldwin Bruins. So
That piques me.
yes, that piques me all day, every
All
day.
day.
I got a special note from the Baldwin Bruins football alumni, and one of our brothers, Kevin Smith, notified me personally. So, Kev, Smitty, we love you. All right, thanks for this note. So let me just read it off. All right.
Yeah.
So on September 22nd, the Baldwin Bruins will be hosting the Hicksville Comets. You know how we dominate Hicksville.
That was their name, the Comets?
The Comets. I don't like it.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, seriously. This game has officially been designated as the alumni game. We're asking all former Baldwin Bruin varsity football players to come back and show support for the program we all love so much. We're asking to help spread the word as we will continue to try and build up a very strong, supportive group of alumni to help pave the way for the present and future Bruins. The day will consist of the alumni being recognized on the field at halftime of the game. There'll be a cash raffle. T-shirts will be available for purchase, as well as a reception to follow the game. We're just kickstarting this idea and need your help. We're looking for a great turnout and would ask that if you plan on attending, to please email baldwinfootballalumni@gmail.com. Once again, I said that incorrectly. It's baldwinfootballalumni@gmail.com. And as you can all see, I put it up full screen so that you can see what the email address is. Please make sure to give your full name and the year you graduated. Coach Carroll is in the process of inviting all the former coaches of the program, and we hope to put together a video/picture montage that evening. This is open to all former players. Golden Wave, I guess the Bruins were called the Golden Wave before it became the Bruins. The Golden Wave or Bruins, we are all one family. If you have any pictures and would like to share them, you can email them as well. We hope to make this an annual tradition and build this up to an event that nobody wants to miss. Please spread the word to as many Bruins as you can. Go Bruins.
What if you only play JV? Can you still come?
It says varsity.
Oh, damn.
Gee whiz. But, I mean, Bruin love is Bruin love. So, you know.
If you just went to the weight room for one off season but never played, you're not a former player.
Sounds like
You gotta axe the grind. Sounds like somebody gotta axe the grind.
Wow.
Are we going to name names or something?
Sounds like a name, huh?
Sounds like a name needs to come out.
I would like to give a couple of shout outs. A lot of the players on the team I've actually coached, and ironically not even in football. They were like basketball players and baseball players. Nate, the quarterback, who's got a cannon of an arm. Cannon. Eric Manigault, who is a lunchbox waiting to happen. He's the running back and the middle linebacker.
Hold on. Is he related to Ricky?
No.
It's just the same last name?
Just the same last name. Braden, whose dad that you've coached with with the game Long Island versus New York
DeSantis?
City. Jimmy, yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And Michael, one of the receivers, who is a lunch pail type of dude too. So look, these guys are ready. And I must include my son. My son is a receiver on the team. So I just wanted to mention that. Go Bruins, make it happen, guys.
Yeah, the outlook for the season. I'm looking at the schedule there. What do they open up with who? I know that Hicksville's the alumni game, but it's like Freeport's the second game. Who's the opening
game at Freeport?
Yeah. You know what? Smitty sent me the schedule.
I have it.
You have it too? All right.
It is.
Yeah.
It is East Meadow.
Oh, East Meadow. That's always a strong team too.
Right. We have it's a tough schedule. East Meadow at Freeport, Hicksville at Port Washington. That'll be easy. Oceanside homecoming game. Wow. At Long Beach, at Massapequa, and Syosset. Guys, that is a tough schedule.
But let me say, in our day, that would be an easy schedule.
Cupcake.
Yeah. Syosset has been playing well.
Yeah.
East Meadow.
Yeah. And
Freeport is always tough.
Yep.
You know. Look. Coach.
The
coach is up.
the coach on-
yeah, go ahead.
The coach from Syosset is a Baldwin guy.
Yeah.
Who is he?
I forget his name, but Coach Carroll told me that he played at Baldwin. The guy that
Trader.
Well, you know what? Kevin Shippo's coaches Massapequa, so
right.
we got love for the entire Shippo's family. So
and Oceanside is really changing their whole program. They are running an offense that is dynamic, and it's going to be we have a tough schedule, guys.
All right.
So I say everybody come out and support.
We ain't never scared.
Right, we're not. Never scared.
Bruins, baby.
And let me just give you that email one more time, okay? It's Baldwin Bruin Football Alumni @gmail.com. And I just went full screen for our viewing audience, so you guys can just take that down.
They know what full screen is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm letting them know that. Yeah.
Okay, just
copy that.
sure.
Relax yourself, boy. Before I flip. All right. So, hey, as a matter of fact, this kid that's right next to me, Brian Taylor, he has a special note for us as the BKBK team and for our viewing audience as well. Go ahead, B.
Yeah, absolutely. So, congratulations. I want to thank everybody that has gone out to our Instagram page. We now have 500 followers. Clap it up for that.
Clap it up,
500.
clap,
That's
clap.
what I'm talking about.
And this is just on Instagram. This isn't even Facebook and everywhere else.
Just
Right.
IG, just IG. I mean, we're not the Kardashians yet, but we're working towards it.
Milestones.
But Kerry's just as good looking as a Kardashian, so it's all good. We'll get those.
Does he look like
views.
Kanye a little bit?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Yeah, now,
He made a Kanye face though.
You know
Check him
what?
out. Look at it.
I don't have my own sneaker line yet. Coming soon.
Yeah.
Kim Ye?
Yeah. Instead of the Yeezys, we call them the Creezies or something.
Right. Just as long as you don't call me greasy.
Funny.
That's right. Faux cheesy.
But yeah, that's 500, right, B? On
Right.
Instagram.
That's right. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, moving towards 1,000, man. So we'll keep you guys posted on getting us to 1,000. Keep getting us in there. IG, follow us. Let's do it.
Yeah.
We got IG. We got Twitter, we got Facebook, we got YouTube. All right,
For
so
sure.
let's get all that. So hey guys, listen. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of the BKBK podcast. Thanks again for all the views and keep watching. We want to be able to keep bringing you the latest news and viewpoints of where sports and the culture collide and the New York Jets reign supreme. You can find us on Facebook on our BKBK podcast page, on Twitter at BK Podcast, IG at BKBK Podcast, as well as on YouTube. Just type in BKBK Podcast, hit the like and subscribe button to show the love. That's it, and let's go Jets, and let's go Baldwin Bruins and Team BKBK. Let's do it, everybody.
One more thing. Wish us the Mercer Island Islanders this Friday night against Mount Lake Terrace.
That's
opening
right.
day New
You
Year.
got it, Kyle. Good luck to all that
baby.
Mercer Island Islanders. Let's go. Woo!
West Coast Bruins.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. Big delay on the Facebook today.